my name is Bree Lever, and this is Betty, our newest van in the Sun Salt Campervan Fleet. And in this video, I'm going to give you a tour, everything that you can expect, and what you'll find in this van. So let's get started. Okay, before I go in, Betty is a Ram ProMaster 2500 with a 136 wheelbase. So she's the same size as a standard pickup truck, which is great because if you are renting a camper van but you haven't rented a camper van before, or you're a little intimidated to drive it, she really has an excellent turn radius, and it's not actually that, it feels bulkier because she's a big van, but it's not actually much bulkier than a standard pickup. So very accessible and easy to drive. So right up front here we have the kitchen area, and something that I really loved about this build is the accessibility to the clean water and the gray water, which I'm going to go over in more detail on the other side. But we also keep a broom and dustpan in here and some extra trash bags. The best way, as soon as you start on your camper van adventure, you will notice that sand and dirt gets in the van very easily. So I recommend using the mat that we provide, which got a little rained on last night. And if you can, bring like kind of slippers just for inside the van. It'll help keep things, keep your outdoor shoes outside. You can even store them in the front, and in this little pocket right here, you can store extra shoes there. And then try to even like just enter through the front, and that way you can keep as much dirt out of the back as possible. So when you come into here, there's a couple things. First is the swivel seats. And these are really wonderful because you get to, if it's raining out, which on the Big Island there are like 10 different microclimates, so there's a high probability that when you come, if you're going all the way around the island, you'll encounter rain. So with the swivel seats, you're able to eat inside, but then that doesn't take up more space for the rest of the things that you need in the van. The downside of the swivel seats is that they do add about 1.5 inches to your height of the chairs. So I recommend that the tallest person drives. I'm 5'7", and it's a little uncomfortable for me, but just remember that you get to eat inside and not in the rain when you're feeling like they're a little too tall. This swivel table is also nice because you can use it as like an extra counter space when you're preparing food. Lots of counter space. And then it just stows right here. And this right here is how you loosen and tighten it. When it, can you zoom in a little bit? Or like,
I'm in.
Okay. When you press this button, so if it like, you're tightening it and it hits the counter, you can pull it out and you can keep tightening it this way. Same for the other direction. If you want to keep loosening it, you can press and then go like that. So that's a nice extra feature. If you want to raise it up as well, there's another handle down here that you can tighten or loosen. So let's see, there we go. Just raising it up a little bit. Okay. There's a trash here, and then there's another trash in the back, but with extra trash bags, which I mentioned. Next up is the clean water and the gray water. Here, I'll take it if I can show. So on this side, we have the clean water is on the left and the gray water is on the right. Oh, little sticker came off. This is not potable, so don't drink it. But you can get water at any local gas station. We'll also throw in some toilet paper and paper towels here. Oops, okay, we'll need to get that to stick later. And then the other thing is just storing the soap down there. You'll find the soap down there when you first start your voyage. If you need to, it's 6 gallons in each, so if you're like making every meal in here, it'll last you like 2 to 3 days If you are like using it really periodically, it'll last you longer. But all that you'll want to do is, I recommend making it a 2-person job. Have one person pull the hose out and hold it up. The gray water, like, be careful with this because it'll just like spill everywhere. So I recommend having some paper towels that you can catch whatever is coming out and try to like hold it up so that it's not leaking out while the other person on the other side pulls them out. The gray water can be dumped in any restroom toilet, and the clean water can be filled at any spigot. Usually you'll find them at, if you're like camping via permit, your place will probably have a spigot, or if you're close to a beach and there's showers, usually there's a place to fill up there. So that's what I recommend. Or any of the harbors, those also have it. Okay, so the next step, I'll just hold it for this next little bit. But for the toilet, instructions are here: pee in the front, poo in the back. So this is a diverting toilet. Actually, would you hold this for 1 second and point it? Okay, so pee in the front, poo in the back. So to empty it, you'll just want to take there, when you lift up, you will find a pee bucket and then the poo bucket in the back. The poo bucket will have a bag in it, and you'll just tie that up and you can drop it at any transfer station. So if you just in Google Maps, if you look for transfer station, they'll all pop up. The pee can be dumped into a restroom, and I like to just dump it and then like rinse it a little bit and then put it back. If you use the toilet, please dump it. Otherwise, we do have an add-on fee for having the cleaner dump it. It's not the fun job. So that's the toilet. Oh, look at all this. And the best, I didn't show you how to open it here. So you have to kind of get down, gotta get a little close and personal, but you have to push both of these down and then pull out, and then they both lock again out here. Ooh, holy shit. And then once you're done, you'll just push them both down and back, and it'll be locked in place, which is good because you don't want the toilet to go flying out of the drawer. Okay, so next up we have the sink is a manual foot pump. So you'll just pump with your foot here. We just ran out of water because we've been using it for a couple of days. The bed has a nice, oh, what do you call that? A little cover, bed cover on it. So it's extra squishy. It's really nice. And it has the cutouts so that if you are a little bit taller, you'll fit in Betty a little bit better than Bertha. Lots of storage up here. Towels will be inside of this one, like some washcloths and body towels. Okay, so please don't cut on the countertops. We do have a cutting board in this bottom drawer. All of these drawers have extra latches, so like none of, okay, there we go. So just make sure before you drive off that everything is like secured. The main latch to worry about is the fridge. We added this extra security because when there's a lot of stuff in the fridge, it'll just fly open if you take a left. So that way you can feel really confident that it won't do that. Inside each of these, we've got, can I come a little closer? Oh, maybe if you're lucky, you'll get some nut butter, but probably not. That's just for us. Okay, so this is your basic like plates and dishes, cups. And here we have the stove, as well as the French press, and a couple other things. This is your divider in the fridge to divide the freezer from the fridge. I recommend just keeping it all open because it kind of limits your space once you put this in. But if you're interested in having like the freezer option, you can do that. The stove comes out like this. We include whatever was left of the last renter's butane plus one additional butane. So when it pops out, it's unlocked, and I'll just show. Can you zoom in with this little part here? Mm-hmm. When you're trying to put the butane in, you have to put it there and then make sure that this little crevice lies in between there. That was like a little bit confusing for me in the beginning. You'll close it, you'll lock it, and then you're good to go. So, and then once it goes back in, it automatically unlocks it. And then you're good to go. So you should have everything. We have, I'll show you the other drawer with all the cooking utensils, but you have a strainer for like pasta. It's a really easy camping meal. Some wine glasses. In here we have a couple skillets, 2 pots, a cutting board, and then a couple things of Tupperware in case you make food and have leftovers. This pantry drawer is a bit of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little hard to open and it's a little hard to close, but and I want to put like little little bins in here so that stuff doesn't fall out so easily. But we just brought this basket, threw it in there to make it a little bit easier so things don't shift around. When you're pushing it back, I recommend just like pushing it from down below. It's not too crazy, but it's just not like the best drawer in the world. In here we have a couple knives on the right. Careful, they're like sharp and new, or they at least are at the making of this video. All the silverware, utensils. In here, so, oh wow, that drawer is so deep. So here we have can opener, wine opener, grater, garlic press, whisk, measuring cups. So if you wanted to make like, we tried to make it really conducive to being able to cook in the van because that's what I like to do when I travel around the van. Spatula, an extra lighter, some scissors, even a peeler, and a spatula. So I hope that you can make whatever dishes you want to while you're here. Pancakes, pasta, okay, and then finally the fridge. So if you, when you start, hopefully the fridge isn't on. If it is, it's not a big deal, but this is how you turn it on. You hold on the power button. If you want to adjust the settings or turn off the fridge, you have to hold down this little cog in order to unlock it first. This has all the instructions, so if you have any questions about the fridge, this is an excellent place to go to read thoroughly in order to get any of your questions answered. Inside the fridge, it's just a chest fridge. We've been eating mostly out of here for 4 days, and it's been enough space. Periodically, when you go to close the fridge, I don't think it'll do it now. So that closed really easily. It latched. It also has like a magnetic, or not magnetic, but it has a latch, but just sometimes when there's too much weight, it still will fly open. So sometimes, like 1 out of every 10 times, it like will get to here and it won't close all the way, and like it feels like you're forcing it. I don't totally know what's happening in this situation, but what I've found helps is if you can squeeze your hand. Can you see this? If you can squeeze your hand to the back, I think the cord is getting stuck a little bit. So here I'm just grabbing the cord for a little bit while I shove it back, and that has always worked to get it closed. So if you're having any issues closing the fridge, that is your best bet. And then finally, we have window covers up here, all stored up here. So this is for the big window. So Betty only has the front windows. She also has Havelock sheep's wool, so she's gonna stay a lot cooler, a lot longer, but once she gets hot, it's gonna like kind of stick in the van. So the best way to keep the van cool, like 90% of the heat from the vehicle is gonna come in through the windows. So keep the window covers on during the day, especially the hottest parts of the day. We have the front window, and then we also have, and we have a mat. Don't forget about that. I forgot about that. Hold on. Okay. These are for the side windows too. So you have covers for all of the windows, lots of privacy. The other thing with heat is by the time you rent this vehicle, there will also be rain guards over these front windows. So how I recommend sleeping at night is closing everything up, cracking the windows, The rain guards will keep any water from coming in. And then turning on the fan. So the ventilation fan has on, off, this, oh yeah, can I show them these features? Okay, great. This button is like changing from the air going in to going out. And then you can like increase fan speed, decrease. So it's pretty, and if it's not like, if you're like pressing it, it's not working, just like go like this, it'll work. It's at 100% speed right now. So it's pretty powerful. We slept with it like this last night, but you can go all the way down to like 20%. So really helpful to have when you're cooking, really helpful at night because it pulls the air all the way through from the front windows all the way to the back. Final thing about electricity, this is the inverter. So basically all the electricity is really straightforward. You have 400 watt solar panels and 200 amp hour batteries. So you, and then in addition to the solar panels, the batteries charge when the vehicle is running off the alternator. So you should not run out of power. That should not be an issue. But if you ever want to use the electrical outlets here, you do need to turn this on, and then you can use it. So I recommend keeping it off because it's gonna pull like a little bit of power. So if you're not using the outlets, just keep it off. Tons of storage down below. We have had our surfboards this weekend, and we have 2 paddle boards. We have the surfboards just like straight through here, and we've been storing them under the van at night, as well as like a whole bin of snorkeling stuff. So tons of storage in the back for suitcases and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Can you think of anything? So we're at KA, which is a really beautiful spot that you'll see on the map. So we camped here last night. This is Kealakekua Bay, which is an incredibly sacred, beautiful, historical site. So I love camping here, but would recommend not camping here more than one night, just to be respectful of locals, because it's a little bit more of a secret spot. It's a little buggy, as you can tell, but nothing you can't overcome. Also great snorkeling around here. That's like Captain Cook, the spot where you go snorkeling and rent kayaks and everything. So thank you for watching this video all the way through. Hope you have a great trip, and let me know if you have any questions.